So in this video, I am going to talk about the debugging techniques that we use in Python programming. So the first debugging technique that I'm going to show you is the print statement. So hey guys, this is Biswajit. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So let's start with the video. So I hope you guys have opened your favorite IDs. I will be opening Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so let's full screen it. So now there are many debugging techniques that you must have heard about in Python. So I will be showing you the print statement. So there are a few of them, like we have the print statement, then we have the raising exceptions, then there is assertions, then there is loggers, and then there is log4j. So there are many debugging techniques you can see. So we will be taking a look at the print statement. Okay, so now you might say, what is a debugging technique? So generally debugging technique helps us to find bugs in our program. So if we make any kind of mistakes, so debugging techniques help us to find that particular mistake that we have made. So the first debugging technique that anyone learns in a programming language is the print statement. Although we print things using the print statement, but it is actually one of the most powerful debugging techniques and mostly used debugging techniques that people use. So I will keep this as raw NB. Let me tell you one thing. This list there may be more debugging techniques, fine, but I am aware of this 5 debugging techniques. So if there are more, I'll be adding this to the particular list. Okay, for example, if I came to know that there is a 6th debugging technique, so I'll definitely going to make a video on that. But till now, I am aware of this 5 debugging techniques. So now if I talk about a print statement, so let's take a small example. I don't think I should be spending much time on the print statement because you guys will be already knowing what a print statement does. But still, I'll show you how we can use the print statement while debugging a program. So let's take a very basic example. Let's take the factorial of a number. Okay. So if you guys don't know, so if we are trying to calculate the factorial of 5, fine. Factorial of 5 is nothing but it's like 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So factorial of a number is like 1 into 2 into 3 till that particular number. Okay, so it's just the multiplication of all the numbers from 1 till that number. So now if I write a program to calculate the factorial of a number, so let's see how we can do it. So maybe we can define a function as fact. Okay, and fact will take a number. We can also type factorial in full. So it will take a number by default, and what it will do, it will try to calculate the factorial. And by calculating a factorial, like we have to print all, like we have to get all the numbers from 1 till that particular number. So maybe we can use a for loop. So for I in range, so let's start with, okay, for I in range till number. Okay, and if I just calculate the factorial, f equal to f into I. Okay, so it's like we'll calculate the factorial and we'll save that factorial inside f only. Okay, and now what we are going to do, I am just going to return the value of f. Fine, and I think f is not defined, so I'll define f as 0 over here. Now if I do shift enter, okay, now here if I try to calculate the factorial of maybe 5, so factorial of 5 is like 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, which is actually oops, this should be star. So the factorial of 5 is 120. Fine. So now if I call this particular function factorial of 5, and like if we pass 5 inside of it, if I do shift enter, you can see it is giving us 0, right? So generally, so that means what, there is some kind of mistakes that we have made in this particular program. How we can debug that particular program? So like definitely the only thing that will come in your mind is to print every single value. So let's print the value of f. So if I do print f over here, and if I do again shift enter and shift enter, so you can see it is printing 0 every single time. So why it is printing 0? What is the value of f that is being assigned over here? So f is assigned the value as 0. So let me change the value of 0 to 1, because anything multiplied with 0 will always be 0. So if I do f into 1, now if I do shift enter and again shift enter, still we can see nothing happened. So that means f, the value of f is not, that is giving the bug, right? So the value of f initially is assigned as 1. So f is present as 1 over here. So there must be some issue with the value of I that is causing this particular zeros. So now we need to debug the value of I. So how we can do that? So let's do one thing. I will use f strings. So value of f, or we can do maybe I equal to I and f equal to f, right? So I am just printing all the values of I and f in every single iteration, right? So if I do shift enter and shift enter again, so now we can see I is starting from 0 and f is also 0. Okay, so this is not correct, right? The factorial of a number should start with 1 till that particular number. It should not be 0, right? Because anything we multiplied with 0 will always be 0. So here the value of f is 1, but the starting value of I is 0, right? So 1 into 0, it is becoming 0. So now how we can avoid this? So let me start the value of I from 1. So now if I do shift enter and shift enter again, so it is 24, right? Let me write a print statement, the factorial of, so I just wrote a particular statement. So the factorial of 5 is 24, which is not correct, right? The factorial of 5 is 120. Fine. So now there is some kind of again mistake that we have done. So how we can again debug this particular code? So if I remember, you can see the value of I is 1 and f is 1. So I is 1, I is 2, I is 3, I is 4, right? But I is not 5. Here we need we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we need the multiplication of it. But here I is starting from 1, then it is 2, then it is 3, then it is 4, but it is not reaching 5. So there is some issue with our range statement, right? So in Python, if you remember, the starting point will be 1, but the ending point will be num minus 1, right? So if I give 5 over here, it will go till 4. Now to prevent that from happening, I have to give num plus 1. Now if I again do shift enter, and if I again do shift enter, now I can see the factorial of 5 is 120. So here you can see the value of I is this particular value that is changing. So 1 was generated first, and 1 was multiplied with 1, and f, the value of f became 1, right? So now next I is 2. So this 2 got generated, right? So 1 into 2 will be 2, and 1 into 2 into 3 will be 6, and 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 is 12. So this particular multiplication is saved inside f. So that's how factorial is calculated, right? So I is this particular sequence that is being generated, and f is storing the multiplication of that particularly generated sequence. So this is how you can debug your Python code. Now once debugging is done, you can just remove the particular debugging statement, or you can comment this out. So I will be commenting it out, right? And if I do shift enter, so now you can see the factorial of 5 is 120. Pretty simple, right? So this is how you can do debugging using Python. So let me take another small example. It will be a very small example. So let's suppose I ask the user to enter two number, n1 equal to input, enter a number. Okay. and I'll copy this statement and I will do n2 equal to enter another number, right? Pretty simple. Now I want to print the sum of the two numbers. The sum of the number is, so it will be n1 plus n2, right? Pretty simple. If I do shift and enter a number, let me take 2, enter another number, let me take 7. So if I do enter, it should give me 9. But see what it gave me, 27, which is wrong, right? So now how we can debug this? So if if when I inputting this particular number and when I'm doing the sum, it is not like it is appending 2 and 7 together. So there is some issue with the particular inputs, I'm guessing. So let's print the particular inputs that is over there. If I do n1 comma n2, and if I do again to shift enter, maybe 2 and 7 again, so it is printing the numbers fine. So there is like no issue with the numbers. But let me check the type of the particular number. So if I try to find the what is the data type of this particular number, type of n1 and type of n2. Now if I again do 2 and 7, so you can see the type of the particular number is class string. Okay, so it is a class of type string, like string data type in Python. So that's the issue, it is appending this. So what is happening, 2 as string type plus 7 as string type. If I do shift enter, it is giving 27. This is what is printed over here. But we don't want this as strings, we want them as numbers. So I will just do 2 plus 7 and do shift enter, 9. So we want them as numbers, right? We don't want them as strings. So how we can like get like numbers from here? So what we can do is, when we are taking the input, right, we can do int over here, or maybe let's do one thing. I will change the data type over here, n1 equal to int of n1 and n2 equal to int of n2, right? So now I will do one thing, I'll copy this and paste it over here. Okay, and I will print another statement. This I'll print this as of before, and I'll copy this and I'll print over here and I'll do after, right? Pretty simple, right? We are taking the input, I am just printing what's the data type before the type conversion. I am doing the type conversion, then I am showing what's the data type after the type conversion, and then I'm printing the sum. Now if I do shift and enter, so it's asking for a number, I'll give 2, I'll give 7. So you can see before the type is class string and class string, right? So both are of string type. After the type conversion, the class changed to class int and class int. So now these are integers. So now if I do the sum of the particular numbers, you can see it is 9, right? So this is how we debug Python code, right? So like these are like sample scenarios, but if there are more complex scenarios, maybe you are working with the Flask framework or maybe the Pandas framework, there might be some time where you need to print the data type just to see that which all functions you can use, right? So this is something that you have to take care of while working with Python and any other programming languages. So this is one of the ways you can debug using the print statement. So pretty simple, right? In the next videos, I will show you how to use assertions, how to raise exceptions and loggers. So if you like this video, please do press the like button. Thank you for watching. All the source code will be in the description, so you don't need to worry. So just check the description for the source code. And that's all for this video. I'm going to see you in an awesome upcoming programming video.